Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Amber if you're new here, and today we're doing the April wrap up and the May TBR. I actually read more than I thought I would have in April, which makes me happy, but I have no idea what I'm gonna read in May. Like, I just compiled a list of like what I think I'm going to get to. But yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. Also, this is not my normal space. This is my roommate's room because there's like hammering going on next to my room, and I just didn't want to deal with that. Anyways, the first book I finished in April was Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. I absolutely loved it. I don't even remember like why I picked it up. I just needed something to pick up at Barnes, and I was like, you know, like I should finally just read it. So I got it, realized it was like the first one, and I was like, let's go. And I read it so fast, honestly. I love that there's illustrations in there. It was just so good. Like it's a mafia romance, but instead of it giving like a grumpy sunshine, honestly, they both felt grumpy to me. It's between Ada and Callum, and I just love that Ada is just like so fiery, and Cal just wants to like control her, but he can't, and they just get under each other's skin, and I love that it feels like they're like challenging each other, and that's just great because I'm like, I just feel like they're a perfect match. Because I just feel like sometimes you don't always need the like super dominant and like, you know, like just little princess. It's like, oh, we don't always need that. So love this. And the strawberries on the cover send me. They send me. I literally, when I got to the point with strawberries, which is not very far in, I literally cackled out loud. I was like, what? It was so good. It was so funny. And I don't know why, it just got me. And their banter is honestly just like, I laughed during this book, like in general, like they were just funny parts. And I really like that because sometimes you need to laugh in a dark romance. Why? I don't know. Why not? So then I went to Greece. So I started Circe. I, however, have not finished it because I was just struggling to read on vacation because like you're on vacation. But yeah, I was trying to do it like when I had the vibes in Athens, and it's been like really good so far. I just find this writing really hard to like get through, but it has been really good, and I really, really want to finish it. My bookmark is literally my plane ticket. I do really want to finish it in May, so that is part of my May TBR. Why is there a sticker in here? I just saw it. What the heck is that? Oh, it's just one of those things. Weird. Anyways, yeah, I just want to finish it. It's so good. Circe just gives me like, it just feels like everyone's always after her, like attacking her, and they're just like, you're weird, you're not pretty enough, like you're nothing like the rest of us, blah blah blah. And I just hate that. And then finally she gets like outcast and she goes to live on this island. She finally like comes into her own skin, and she's like, I don't know, she just transforms, and it's so beautiful. But then they're still not happy. And I'm like, what is gonna please you people? Anyway, I really need to finish it because I really, really like Circe. So that is part of the plan. And then on my Kindle, I finished Say You Swear. I was not expecting to finish that. It wasn't even on my April TBR, but I saw a TikTok literally in the airport to go to Greece, and this girl was like, I need therapy after this book, like I'm literally gonna get a therapist. And I was like, well, now I need to know how it ends, because I did read some of it in like January, I think, but I just didn't get through it. Like I just had this phase where I couldn't finish a Kindle Unlimited book to save my life. I don't know why. I guess because I didn't feel as motivated because it wasn't like a physical copy. But I read it on the way there, and then I finished it literally in Santorini, like in my bed watching the water. But it was so good. It just got so good so fast. Like, I just love the setting. I love that it was like a beach house vibe and college, and it was so fun. And Noah is just the absolute best. He has my literal soul forever. He's just so pure. I just can't even, like, the shit that he dealt with, but he was just so good and so understanding about everything. I was like, you deserve the world. Like, you just deserve it all. It was like giving a little bit of love triangle, but not in the way you think. Like, not really. Not in a weird way or anything, but all I have to say is there's a crazy twist at the end that you just don't see coming, and it just has you on the edge of your seat. Like, you're like, what the heck is gonna happen? Just trauma. It's traumatic. I'm not gonna lie, it's traumatic. I will like always think about this book, and it was amazing. I don't understand why it took me so long to read it, but people are not lying to you when they say Say You Swear is so good, and that Noah Riley is the best character ever. Anyway, that was a great book. So then I went on to read like one of my new favorite romances. I don't know if it's like my number one. I have a hard time being like, this is my absolute favorite book. But I read Love Letter to Whiskey on the way back from Greece, and it quite literally changed my entire being. I read this in 7 hours on the plane. And if you know me, you know that I don't finish a book in one day. Like, I just can't. I've done it a few times, but it's just really, really hard. I mean, it's not hard when you're on like a 14-hour flight like I was. It was only 11 hours actually, but in two ways. I just think everybody should read this. Jaden literally told me to read it. She was like, it's so amazing, just do it. It's on Kindle Unlimited. And I was like, okay, like I promise I'll read it on the plane. Like, I need to read anyway. Basically, it follows Jamie and Bee, who meet in high school. They literally just stumble upon each other, and then Jamie kind of falls for her best friend, and they have a little relationship, and basically the whole book follows them kind of just like existing in each other's orbits, like always being drawn to each other for years. And this isn't a spoiler, this just happens in the beginning, but Jamie and Bee make a pact that if they are not married by the time they're 30, they will marry each other. And that just speaks for itself. Like, it's just so good. I literally, in my notes, wrote, Alexa, play Dress by Taylor Swift, so do with that information what you will. Also, a quote that I really liked by Jamie was, if I was whiskey, then she was the barrel that helped me age, that made me better. And I just love that. So Jamie's nickname is Whiskey, obviously why it says Love Letter to Whiskey. Just because he like embodies whiskey, like the way his eyes and his hair looks. She just basically gave him that nickname. But it's just so heart-wrenching. You want to like punch both of them and you're like shake them into reality. You're like, be together, just be together. But like, it's like timing just never lines up, or it does perfectly and they're just freaking stupid half the time. So it is really frustrating, and it does feel really toxic sometimes, but not in like a gross way, if that makes sense. I just loved it. I just absolutely loved it. And not only do you get her point of view, but you get like over halfway through the book, and then suddenly you get his point of view, and it goes through the whole story again, but from his side. So it's like, okay, like now you can see where like both of them were right and both of them were wrong, and they're just both freaking crazy. But I loved, honestly, reliving the story, because it just like jumps through so many years that I kind of really liked going back and doing it all over again, because I just loved it so much. Like, I probably would have reread it anyway, but like I basically got a reread in the read, and that was just cool. I kind of liked that it wasn't like, okay, her chapter, his chapter, hers, and I don't know, it's just weird. I've never read a book where it was like that. Because it was like you were getting a sequel, but it was already there, so you didn't have to wait for it to come out. And that's just great. Like, applause to you, Miss Candy Steiner. But immediately I was like, what else do I need to read by her? I just fell in love with that book. New favorite for sure, if you just want a romance that's kind of like Second Chance, except it's like 15 chances, then you should read it. So yeah, that was just great. And then I did start Stolen Air by Sophie Lark. That is the second one to The Brutal Prince. And that one is my friend Carly's fave, so I definitely want to read it. I barely started it on the plane on the way from New York to here, and I just need to finish it on my Kindle. But I do like it so far. I think it'll also be good. It's still giving the mafia romance that we love. It basically follows like this mafia man and a ballerina, and she definitely is like very soft and like easy, kind of like, I don't know, she's just kind. She's just a beautiful human. Excuse me, she's just a beautiful human. And excuse me again. She literally gets kidnapped by this man and is just like stuck with him because he's trying to get revenge on her family. And you kind of see how it like ties together to the first book, but I'm really interested to see where it goes. I like going into the books blind, so I really can't tell you much more about that, but yeah. So then the next read that the next book that I read was Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I got back from vacation and I was looking at the Tessa Bailey table because I haven't read any of her books, and I was like, why have I not done that? So I was looking up the aesthetics as I normally do, and I saw this one, and it was like a winery, and it was so beautiful and like sunny, spring vibes, like flowers, and I was like, okay, this looks really good. But then I was like, no, I shouldn't, like, I've got things to read. I just got back from vacation. I don't need it. And then I went to the bathroom, and Cam literally went to the register and bought it for me, so if he wanted to, he would. Anyway, I read it. I put down Stolen Air because I was like, I'm not sure I'm feeling a dark romance at this very moment. So I picked this up. I really love this. This was like, I haven't rated any of these books, but that's just on brand for me. This was like a 4. I would say a 4. I feel like part of me was like, oh, like, was it really that good? And I'm like, girl, you enjoyed it. Let yourself enjoy it. So I would say it's 4 out of 5 stars. And I just loved, basically Hallie is just this very easygoing, like, she just rolls with the punches. She's like, I don't even know what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight, but we're here. And she just like goes with her own schedule. She's a gardener for this small town, and she's just fiery. Like, she just knows what she wants, and she's just so bold, and I just love all of that. Julian, however, is the complete opposite of Hallie. He is literally type A. Everything has to be on a schedule. So just like boring, like nothing can ever be like out of the blue. And it really is like helping him with his anxiety. Like, that's just how he deals with that. But they did have an almost kiss in high school, and she's just been crushing on him ever since. And he comes back into town to write a book, and he does not even recognize Hallie. And she's like, oh, that hurts. Okay. But they have like crazy amount of sexual tension. I loved that. And it was just a sweet little small town romance. So if that's what you're looking for, something that gives you like spring summery vibes in a winery, the setting was everything, and it was just so good. So I definitely need to read more Tessa Bailey. I really enjoyed this. Next thing I picked up, I'm still reading Happy Place by Emily Henry. I'm literally on page 249, so I'm so close to the end. I'm hoping to finish it today. It's very sunny out. I think I'm gonna go sit on the porch and read it until I go to work, but I'm like loving every second of this. I've only read People We Meet on Vacation by her. I haven't read her other books, and I kind of forgot like how much I liked her writing. Like, I really like People We Meet on Vacation. Like, I can still like remember the characters and like the vibes I got from the book. So I really wasn't sure how good this was gonna be, but then I saw it on the table with all of the books, and it was so bright, and it was like in your face, and I read the summary, and I was like, I need her to chill. I read the summary, and I was like, okay, like this is a plot. So Harriet and Wen meet in college through their best friends, and they have this huge friend group, and they broke off their engagement months ago, and they haven't told any of their friend group or anyone, and it was 5 months ago. And the plan was to break it off this week on their yearly vacation that they all take together in the same place. Great vibes, but it turns out they can't do that because this is going to be their last trip in this beautiful place that they all know and love, and circumstances just don't let them do that. They can't bear to break this news. So they have to go through the whole week pretending that they're still happily engaged, and the banter is just crazy. Like, they clearly have, like, they're clearly still in love. I don't even know what to say. That plot is just crazy. I feel like I've been on the edge of my seat this entire book, being like, who's gonna call them out? What's gonna happen? Are they gonna get back together? When are they gonna fight? When are they gonna... I just don't even know, but I'm eating it up. It's a great plot. Freaking Emily Henry, congrats to you, because this book is amazing. And we have the same last name, so we're besties automatically, okay? But anyway, I don't want to spoil anything else because I love going into books blind, but this is so good. I'm making a reading vlog on it, so I will put a spoiler at the end of that, so if you want my actual in-depth opinions, but I honestly feel like this might be a 5-star. Wow, I really think it might be. So I'm finishing that like today or tomorrow. Now into the books I think I will read in May. First is By a Thread by Lucy Score. I have started this. I didn't get very far, but it's just so big. So I was like, ugh. But I do like the characters. I do love how she just jumped right into the plot automatically. Basically, it's Allie and Dominic basically gets Allie fired in the very beginning of the book. And so Dominic's mother gives her a job, and the whole time he's just like, I don't want you working here. I don't like you. And so it's definitely like a enemies to lovers kind of thing. Yeah, I'm just really interested to see how he's gonna make up for like his utter assholeness, but I can definitely tell like he's just stressed at the moment. There's definitely a lot of tension here though. Like, he definitely just really likes her and just won't admit it. So what a man thing to do. So we'll see how I feel about this one, but I really think I need to get to it. Next one I really want to get to while it's still springtime is Small Favors by Erin Craig. This author also wrote House of Salt and Sorrows, which was definitely more of like a young adult. Sorry, I'm trying to freaking fix my laptop. It was kind of giving a twisted Little Mermaid in a way, but let me tell you, it was dark. Like, very dark. It was so interesting, but I just remember loving it. It's been years since I read it, so I really can't tell you anything about it. All I know is that this is cottagecore mixed with like some dark shit. So yeah, it definitely seems like it's gonna be like another YA like little story. I'm just so interested. Like, when I looked up the aesthetic, I just saw cottagecore and a really dark, like haunted feeling, and I was like, okay, you got me there. The summary on the back, I'm like, I don't even care. I just, cottagecore and dark vibes. I'm going to see how I like it, and I'll let you know. But I feel like spring is the best time for it. Another book I want to read on my Kindle if I get to it, it's just something that I feel like I do want to read soon. Might not read it this month, but we'll see, is Darling Venom. I have just seen Sarah Caroli talk about it so many times, and I'm like, I just want to read it. I really need to. So we'll see if I get to that. I also don't know what that's about, but I like to go in blind. So that's just on the list. Do with that what you will. The next thing that I really want to get to, but I probably won't get to until the end of the month because I am studying for my NCLEX and I don't take it till the end of the month. So I don't want to start really any series necessarily that, I don't know. I just don't want to start anything where I feel like I'm like, okay, now I got to read this series specifically, like back to back to back. So Magnolia Parks, I really want to get to this. I feel like it would be a very good like transition to summer read, but also wouldn't mind waiting till summer. I'm just like so daunted. I tried to read this on the plane actually, like that's why there's a little tab in there. But after I read Love Letter to Whiskey and I felt like I was just reading such like fast-paced romances, this just wasn't giving what I was wanting at the moment. And I was like, no, I want to be in the exact same, like right headspace for this. I don't want to go into it like already not wanting to read it, if that makes sense. So I was like, I'm gonna wait until I'm really feeling the vibes of like this drama and toxic story. But I really am excited. I love Gossip Girl, and I feel like the vibes could be good. I think it could be good, and definitely something like different. Like, I've been reading a lot of little like happy little romances for like, because I love seasonal reading. Like, I just love reading all the romances in spring and summer. So anyway, definitely want to get to that. The next book I want to get to is Finale by Stephanie Garber. I actually think that I already read this. I read Caraval like early on in college, and whenever I was like wanting to be an English teacher, and that was one of the series that actually really got me back into reading. I freaking love Caraval, but I don't own Finale like on my shelf, so I really think that I honestly listened to the audiobook, but I'm just not for sure. So I would love to read Finale or reread it. No idea. Excuse me. Just to make sure that I have that story all wrapped up in here, because it's been years. But I don't necessarily think that I need to reread the entire series, at least at the moment. But I want to do that so that I can finally read Once Upon a Broken Heart. I told my friend to pick this up literally a year ago when we saw it. I was like, oh my god, I love this author like a lot. You should definitely pick that up. But I didn't pick it up myself. I don't know why. But I just haven't been in the mood for it. And I don't know. I've just been studying a lot, as you know. And I was like, no, I want to be like done with school before I pick this up. So now I finally can. So I definitely want to wrap up Finale so I can jump into this. I'm so excited. I remember loving this world so much. Her writing was beautiful. The setting, everything. Ugh. So good. I don't even know what it's really about, but I don't even care because I love this author so much. And then last thing that like fantasy wise that I would love to get into is the Mortal Instruments series. I literally haven't read these, and I'm like, I can't even call myself a fantasy reader if I haven't read these. Like, that's just crazy. So I know I did read like the first two in like middle school or something, and then just like never finished them, but I really want to get back into them. So I'm going to start with the first one, and we're going to try to just get through the whole thing throughout the year. I don't know. I don't foresee myself like just sitting down and just reading these, so I definitely might like read one and then read a few books and then read another one, but we'll see, because I have been having a lot more time to read. But I really want to get into these. I don't know. I just feel like I want just to jump into like a really cool fantasy world again. So that's on the list as well. Another 2 books, just if I'm in the mood, who knows, this video is already way too long, is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I haven't read any of her books, and I just feel like that would be a good read. I almost picked it up the other day. And then Two Wrongs Make a Right. I've seen that on Pauline's Instagram, and I just think it looks really good. Like, the storyline just sounds really good. Basically, it's like 2 friends, and their friend group like tricks them into going on a date, and so they're like, haha, let's fake date, and then we're gonna have this huge breakup and make them feel bad for even making us date in the first place. And of course you can guess that probably doesn't go their way. So yeah, that one I'm thinking might be good too. So those are the books that I'm planning on reading in May, and my thoughts on the books I read in April. I honestly had a great reading month compared to the last year when I've been reading like 1 book a month. Thanks, nursing school. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Go out and get some sunshine if it's hopefully getting a little warmer where you are. I'm definitely gonna make a video on like spring summer reads that I want to get into just for like the whole summer, and then I might make my summer recommendations because I think that I have some that are pretty good. So thank you guys for watching again. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment your favorite book that you read in April, and I love you guys so much.